Welcome to Kranky Live Sports Talk, where passion meets action.
Hey sports fans, I am Kranky, and this is the Kranky Live Sports Talk, the podcast where we dive deep into the hottest topics, the biggest games, and the most controversial moments in sports.
Whether it's football, basketball, track and field, cricket, or soccer, we've got you covered with expert analysis, insider interviews, and unfiltered opinions.
Join me as I chat with the biggest names in sports, get exclusive insights and stories you won't hear anywhere else.
Kranky Live Sports Talk is where you can hear the real talk, the hard-hitting questions, and the hottest takes.
So, if you're a true sports fanatic, you don't want to miss out? Subscribe now to the Kranky Live Sports Talk on YouTube and hit that bell icon to never miss an episode.
Kranky Live Sports Talk, where sports come alive. Subscribe today.
Good evening, good evening. Glad you could join me. It's interesting. I turn on, I think it's giving YouTube the ability to advertise. And I was watching the feed and realized they advertised in the middle of my introductory song, which is not good. So maybe what I'll do next time is delay the introductory song. That's ridiculous, actually. You would think if they want to advertise, they would do so a little bit later. They start off immediately advertising. Not good. Good evening, everyone. Why every day I come, I see them thing, you know. I actually see them thing, and people come in, and I'm still one up on the index figure. But as I said before, I'm not back for them thing no more. We just so go to the program. Bless up Ernest, bless up Sean. Thanks for joining. I see Gunner's boss was here earlier, probably left. I'm actually here watching two TVs in front of me. One, Biden talking to governors. I guess he wants to stay in the race. I don't know why he's so selfish. You're not up for the job. Vacate the post and let Newsom or somebody take the post. Right? That's not difficult. But more importantly, I'm watching the roads in Jamaica. I still can't believe people are driving by the coast too. Like, yeah, most of the country, people are off the streets, but some people are still, I'm watching the camera. Wait. First of all, I must give big plaudits to the reporters, frankly, because they're on the road filming all these events occurring, giving us information. Bless up, John Powell. So we do appreciate it. It is a very risky job to undertake, to be on the road, especially by the seaside, where, you know, a lot of times where it's very, very challenging as the storm progresses. Those roving reporters who are on the scene, we should give kudos to them because they help to bring us information real time. But I do find it interesting that they're everyday citizens on the street, just either walking and or driving in weather like this. Now, some people have extenuating circumstances, but you believe everyone would have heeded the warnings and tried to get their activities done. Unless, for example, you work in a hospital. But even then, if you're working, you should just stay at work, right? You shouldn't be moving about actively. I'm not sure that makes a lot of sense to do so. But yeah, so obviously this is a sports talk show, but life does occur. And we got to talk about life events as they occur sometimes that migrate themselves into sports and what's happening in Jamaica. Obviously, I still have family there and relatives there and hoping that they stay safe. I've been in constant communication. They tell me they're good, but until this storm passes, then one has to still wonder and hope that everybody stays safe. We hear about the situation in St. Vincent, where I think the Prime Minister mentioned that 90% of the structures there have been damaged, which is devastating. Because one thing to have damaged structures, then you got to repair them or destroy them. And that means funding. And unless the international community come together and fund those islands and help them with their repairs, they're gonna struggle for a while. It takes a while to effectively get back to what we deem to be normal. So that may not occur. I know some people here are just like, Kranky, you know, you about no live thing. Let's come talk sports. Well, I did warn before that I can go off on tangents, and this is another tangent. So if you hear me very mellow today, because it's a mellow day, just but somebody I walk on the street, what you think at Jamaica? Why could they have the screen in front of me? Just walking in the street, that they going to church or just going for a stroll when it's supposed to be dangerous out there. And I heard there was a run on food in a lot of stores and all that, which is normally the case. I'm sure the supermarket shelves are empty, but tough time. But again, thanks for being here. I have a few items I want to talk about. It's probably one of the off days since sometime in May. If you think about NBA basketball, think about the end of the EPL season, you think about Champions League, and then we roll into Copa America, roll into the Euros. So there's been a lot of sporting activities been occurring over the last number of weeks and even months. And today is a day where we have nothing occurring per se, and also I forgot to mention track and field also. So we don't have any track and field now. The Olympics is coming up. We don't have any Copa because they've completed the rounds. And so we don't have any Copa. I think the next game is on the 9th. So that's Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. And we'll go through those. I'm sorry. It's not on the 9th. It's on the 5th of July, actually. I apologize. And the 6th. The semifinals are on the 9th and next Tuesday and Wednesday. And then we have the Euros recommencing on the 5th. And then we have obviously restarted the season mid-July after these events are done. And here's what's also interesting, which is it's probably one of the first years that I've been really just spending a lot of time on sports that I haven't been talking transfers for my team. Many of you know I support Arsenal. I haven't been talking transfers for my team because there was so much things happening with transfers on the back burner. And I think that's probably most people who follow the sport, they haven't been talking transfers. So that is interesting. And I'm sure at some point when the Euros are over, when the Copa is over, transfer may be discussed, but then people are going to transition into the Olympics, which are coming up. So it'll be interesting to see how that materializes. But following it tangentially, but not substantively, actually. So I'll jump into Copa first. And by the way, I am going to spend some time on Copa today, on Euro today, talk a little bit about what most people want to talk about who are here around the coaching situation, and also my little discussion I had with Rudolph yesterday, Rudolph Speed, but also spend some time talking about the 100 meters men's, since the women got all the fanfare for years. And now we have some challenge for the Americans. I want to talk about that, especially for Noah Lyles. So that'll be part of the discussion, actually. So first, let's go to Copa America. As you can see on the screen, we have tomorrow Argentina play Ecuador at 9 p.m. And then July 5th, Venezuela plays Canada. And I would say that obviously Ecuador was in our zone. And we did well against them. I'm curious to see how they will do against Argentina, who I thought struggled somewhat with Canada when they played them. And Canada had a good chance to score a couple of goals, and that didn't happen. But that should be a decent game. One thing I noticed in this competition, and I didn't see that as much when Jamaica played Ecuador or Venezuela, it's extremely physical. If you watch a game between Brazil and Colombia yesterday and US, Uruguay, I thought these people were going to war. It was crazy how aggressive the players were. And if this was in Europe, these games have been played, it'd be a lot of yellow and red cards, frankly, in those games. I mean, the tackles were ridiculous. Now, what I also find interesting and impressive, actually, was how the players who plays most of their football in Europe, from Brazil, for example, only a few for Colombia, how quickly they adjusted and adapted to the South America way of playing. Now, obviously, they grew up in that environment, but a lot of them have left a while ago, or I've acclimated themselves to how you play in the UK or in Europe, in other parts of Europe, and how quickly yellow cards come out. And yet, yesterday they were just flying into tackles, flying into kicks. I mean, it was amazing. To me, it was amazing actually. So it'll be interesting to see how the tournament progresses. So I say Argentina will play Ecuador tomorrow, which will be a good game. And we have a chance to watch those games individually because they've been playing on separate days, at least the first two. And they're in the same group, by the way, as you can see. Then you'll see Venezuela play Canada. And that's an interesting game because Venezuela won the zone that we were in. They beat us, they beat Mexico, they beat Ecuador. Caveat with the Ecuador game where they won by Ecuador had a man send off, their primary center forward send off. But what's going to be interesting is you see how CONCACAF, which has two teams in the tournament, do going forward. It's a test for CONCACAF, right? Canada, Mexico, and US are in the World Cup coming up in 2 years, which is not that long away, people. And Venezuela is doing better than Brazil in their World Cup qualifiers so far today. And I said they won our zone with 9 points. Love to see how they do against Canada, who I thought have been really impressive. Now, people may extrapolate and say, well, we beat Canada. Canada doing well. What can't we do as well? It didn't work out that way. And we'll talk about losing our coach because that's interesting and what I think we should be striving for in a new coach. So that's a good game. It's a pick them game between Canada. I expect Argentina to beat Ecuador. It's going to be very difficult to pick a winner in the Canada-Venezuela game. I think Venezuela is a better team than people think they are. But when we played them, I didn't think we were at the races. We're just going through the motions, as far as I'm concerned. I think if it was a game where we had to win, it would have been a better game. And then Colombia, Panama, I expect Colombia to win the game. I was very impressed with Colombia people. For a team that doesn't have a lot of what I would call world-class players. I wouldn't use the word world-class. Use the word top-notch because world-class is a very small number of people. It was really amazing to see how well they played Brazil and should have beaten Brazil as far as I'm concerned. They got more chances. Brazil scored off a brilliant free kick and they scored in the goal where Brazil had a man down and he came back and I think it was Guimaraes, didn't know where he was. And so the left back came inside and created an opportunity outside for couldn't score, but they missed a couple of sitters actually. And Brazil is not the same Brazil. I don't think Rodrigo does it up front. I think Vinicius Jr. to me wasn't impressive in that game. He's being hit and miss, and he will miss the next game because of having 2 yellow cards. So that's going to be interesting actually to see how the Brazil game goes. But Colombia, Panama, I expect Colombia to win. Uruguay, Brazil is going to be a good game. But if I put my neck on the block, I probably would say Uruguay. I've been impressed with Uruguay. They seem to have adopted Bielsa's way of playing where they're just running 24/7, nonstop. And when they play the U.S., I'm sure half those U.S. players are probably in the bad someplace or in the sun or someplace trying to recover. You see, Balogun was out the game. A number of players just got clattered throughout that game. It was a very, very physical game. And I would expect Uruguay to give Brazil a run for their money. Uruguay is a very, very good team. And they've been playing really well and they've been playing very physical. They press most of the game, so you have to make a lot of quick decisions. Even though I think Brazil was okay against Colombia, actually. I thought they played decent, but they have to create more opportunities. They didn't create enough more opportunities in that game, actually. So that's it for Copa America, which, as I said before, is now going into its playoff stages in terms of the last 8. And now we're here at the Euros, which have been really, really good, people. One of the better Euros that I've seen. And the reason is because even though when one take a step back and look at this, most of the favorites have progressed forward, I think the underdogs have done really, really well. If you look at the Slovenians of the world, Slovakias of the world, they all had a chance to win their games, and that didn't materialize, obviously. Disappointments has been the Belgians of the world who are perennial. Some people call them chokers. I would probably call them underperformers. Right? Martinez left them, went to Portugal. They also struggled in their game. and could have lost their game against Slovenia. If Sesko, who is hot on everybody's radar, who was there at Leipzig, had scored that breakaway after Pepe slipped, it'd be a different story. No one could always counter and say, well, Ronaldo missed the penalty. But Sesko had a really good chance. And it tells you people that even some of the best players in the world, I know we beat our players sometimes for some of those misses, i.e., for example, Cephas against the US. But some of the best players in the world, when it's one-on-one, game is on the line, sometimes don't produce. And in the penalty shootout, even though the Portugal goalkeeper was very good, Slovenia didn't step up to the plate, right? So, and Slovenia had a better goalkeeper, but their players, I think, they may have practiced penalties, but it's almost like the keeper knew where they were going because he sure made some of the saves look. I think the first save was brilliant, but the other two, he made them look easy. So, really interesting times. But we have Spain playing Germany. These games are banger games, people. These are games you want to see in tournaments. I mean, you like upset sometimes, but then after upset occur, and then you see the next game, and the favorites win easily, you just get frustrated. Germany, Spain. Germany's played some of the best football they've played in years. Spain has been brilliant. And I'm going to touch upon Spain, because we're going to get into this when we talk about who should coach Jamaica team. Spain has, I think there's about 5 players up for young players at the tournament to date, and Spain has about 3 of those. 2 of those are their 2 wingers, and to me, that's coaching how to play football, how to keep the ball, right? That's important. And so I would think that if Jamaica is trying to get a coach to bring us to the World Cup, that should not be the only objective. It should also be part of, even though it's difficult for international coaches to coach, seasoned players, we should get somebody who can play possession football and also who may be able to work with some of the players in Jamaica, especially those in the JPL and in some of the more junior program, under 20, under 17, to really teach them how to keep the ball, because we struggle with that. But Spain, Germany can be a brilliant game. Portugal, France, another brilliant game. France has scored 3 goals in the tournament. 2 own goals and 1 penalty. That's France with a potent attack with the Dembeles of the world, with the Mbappes of the world, with the Griezmanns of the world, with the Thurems of the world. It's amazing that a team with so much offensive talent is not able to hit the net. And yet the coach is very, very pleased. What is he going to say? And in Portugal, which is a brilliant team, struggled mightily against Slovenia. So we'll see how that goes. These are pick them games, I think Spain will beat Germany. I just think it's hard to get the ball off them. It'd be interesting to see what happened with Portugal and France. So I'm gonna before I finish the rest of this, I'll just take a couple comments. Aim Henry, how you doing? Good evening. Aim Henry says, Kenna's impressive. Between 1 goal, like playing against 2 teams with 10 men, the coaches will get his APL team dragged. Yeah, Jesse Marsh has done really well with Ken, actually. It shows you there's life after getting fired or after resigning. That resigning is for Hallgrimsson. Yeah, I mean, Marsh has done a really good job with them. They've always had good players and decent players, but I think Marsh has done a really good job with them. And they should be extremely proud to be in the last 8, actually. And they could be in the semifinal. They could beat Venezuela and be playing Argentina again. And I think they gave Argentina a run for their money the last time. They have some good players, like Alphonso Davies, who played at a high level. But I think their midfield also is decent. I think he's playing a traditional 4-3-3. He's not playing just defensive, and that has worked out well for him. Bless up Rich Pool. Rich Pool says the Euros is proving fascinating and exercise in possession to counter-attacking football. Smaller nations such as Slovenia, Georgia, and Slovakia have shown what organizations can do. Yeah, and Slovenia is what? About 2 million people? It does show you. Well, look, when you live in a certain region, though, like South America, for example, and the football that's played at a certain level, with a certain level of coaching, there's a trickle-down effect, right? But having said that, we haven't done the best job of using the talent. First of all, we haven't done the best job of coaching the physical talent that we have. And then, in addition to that, we haven't done the best job of really molding the talent that we've gotten, especially from some of those who become naturalized and not playing in the national team. We just haven't. And we also have done a poor job, which I'm going to get beat for, I don't care, of bringing in some of the more junior players who want to play for Jamaica but where we're resistant. And if you hear anybody telling you anything different, it's nonsense. That's why JFF got rid of John Wall, because he wanted to use a lot of non-local born players, and they resisted. And when you hear bless up, Chris, when you hear the view that, oh, by the way, we reassigned John Wall because he can't be in two places at once. And you guys know who said this. I'm going to call him out. That's nonsense. Nonsense. There is no way in you know what. That's the reason why John Wall was reassigned. He was reassigned because he wanted to pick the best players available who are naturalized across the globe, whether they're locally born, overseas born, he didn't really care. And others, yeah. So Minzy, you want to join and tell us about the hurricane? Because I know I say it probably that yard in a Minzy. If you want to join, because I've said to people that this program, even though it's about sports, is very important that we all realize, especially a lot of us who born and grew up in Jamaica or have affiliations there, that we get up-to-date information on the storm and how it's going. So, if you want to join, let me know. I'll send you the link. Yeah, it's very... I'm here, as we're speaking, Minzy, I'm here watching the whole thing. Well, as much as I can watch it. That's being shown. So it's interesting just watching the whole thing materialize. All right, let me try to get it, Minty, and I'll get it to you. If you don't see it on one phone, look for the other one, because I always mix the numbers up. So I'm gonna get it to you. But I think the coaching, to me, the most important thing for the footballers in Jamaica is to have good coaches. Bless up, Milshire Walker. Thanks for joining. Yeah, Chris, but I understand the view in Jamaica about developing locally born players and give them opportunity. Because if you're growing up as a kid, you aspire to be in the national team, and that's a goal, and you want to make sure that when the opportunity arises, you get it. But people to be fair, if you're not good enough, you're not good enough at the required level. Doesn't mean you're bad. Minzy.
Manners and respect, Kranky.
Bless up, man. How you doing? Me know you're there, I don't know. Give us an update. That's what's happening.
Boy, I mean, I tell us, a whole heap of wind, rain on and off, some trees down, some light poles down, police station mash up, road impossible, flooding, a whole lot of things happening.
So which part of the island has got the most severe hit, actually?
You know, I'm not really aware of that, but I'm suspecting it is the eastern end of the island, because that's where it passed first with the gusty winds. So I am suspecting that's where, like, Portland, St. Thomas, that area, right. they got a good hit.
Okay, because I'm watching it here on. I'm actually watching what's happening. They're showing you pictures, and there's people, sometimes, not a lot, but a few people walking on the streets or driving. Actually, I find that interesting.
Yeah,
people constant warning about that. Go ahead.
Yeah, people still are go out tonight. You really go stop that. Because some people brave, some people decide them now go listen to authority. You have some people decide them now move out of some areas that are actually flood-prone areas. They stipulated that they are defending or protecting their stock and all of these things. So that's what's up.
Yeah, I noticed that that video I sent you, which this lady was downtown Kingston at the market, and they asked her if she's going to move, and she's like, "No, this is my life." And here's my question, actually: why wouldn't the government try to help those people relocate their stock? Because I can understand someone who they need resources. What they have for sale is what they have, probably their only earthly possession, and we're basically saying they need to leave, and then they probably get their stuff get stolen. So shouldn't the government find a way to help those people move to a secure location with their goods?
That's a very good point.
I didn't understand that, actually.
It's a very good point, but I mean, they can do what they need to do to ensure that some of these stuffs are protected, But you have some people that are stubborn. They are stuck in their ways, them decide to say, "Yo, I am not going to move because, like they said, this is my livelihood." So they are trying to make their bread, irrespective of what is happening around. The lady said she has been here before Beryl, so she not gone away. Beryl, Beryl, not there before her. You understand? So,
So she must think Beryl is a woman.
Beryl sound like a woman name too, you know.
No, Beryl is a woman name, but I'm saying a storm is not a physical human being. So when you say was here before Beryl, as if Beryl, oh, come off and leave because you're running Beryl, that not work.
Yeah.
You say you're there before Beryl, as if I can't beat Beryl. I don't think Beryl, Beryl told St. Vincent, destroyed St. Vincent basically. So I don't know why someone would not want to get to a safe location. It's not healthy. Not healthy. Yeah. But I'm glad you and your family are safe.
Yeah, man, we're up so far, man.
And actually, you can communicate too, which means all the lines are not down and all the communication equipment are probably still functional.
Yeah, I still have power.
Okay, which is excellent. I hope you have a generator. Because I have friends who migrate back to Jamaica. They all have the generator. Because normally power goes out anyway, so they have generators, right? They buy generators, they make sure they have generators. So when
JPS has been doing well for the past few years though. Okay. In terms of power outages, they have been doing well. So we're not really. I mean, generator is something good to have. Yes, I don't have one, but I have other things to back up.
Okay. Yeah, I mean you have battery. We actually think that we don't know new thing that come out to them. We don't know the new thing that come out to them. So say other things. I say I must battery with flashlight.
Yeah, battery, man.
So I used to that Jamaica battery flashlight. In fact, I have one point in Jamaica, someplace you live, I don't light. Everybody them have light nowadays. Yeah, if you have battery with flashlight, they can't see the peony water them. But anyway. It's all good. It's all good. Later in the program, I'll talk some track and field. And I want, if you can't stay on, I want you to come back and talk track and field with me because I pull up some stats from the Oblique, Kishane, and Noah. I'm going to do a comparative. So if you can't stay now, come back and talk the track and field. All right?
May I listen here, man?
All right. Good. So we're not reach track and field yet, though. I talk football. We'll get to track and field. I'm my favorite sport. So my discussion was on. Wait, let me just take some comments first, and then I come back to this. So we see Chris saying, "Kranky, do some research on the amount of players they forced in the team from 2016." That's hard to do, Chris. So Chris's point is this: is that Chris can be very strident in his perspective and his view, and critics like me can also be very critical. The point he's making is this: is that sometimes the locally developed players or locally born players are not ready to play at a higher level, and they've been thrust into the team to do so for whatever reason. That's the case, and we know that happens, right? And so Rudolph Speed, I say Rudolph. Most people say Mr. Speed. I say Rudolph. Rudolph is always saying that there are seven positions. I guess there's 7 positions for overseas based players, for the junior level, for all the teams outside the senior team. And my question always been, and you hear me raise this, I start raising people. And in fact, we'll do something else at some point, but not now, until we have some time. You cannot preclude your citizens from participating in activities of a given country. It's not okay. It's called discrimination. Can't happen, people. Can't happen. I don't care what nobody wants to say. If you're not good enough and not good as people, then get better and get as good as them. So you cannot convince me otherwise. This is not, I've said this numerous times, this is not United States, which had racism, so they're making up for last time and for a situation with affirmative action. We don't have no affirmative action Jamaica to make up to. You cannot tell somebody, you cannot tell Kranky, for example, who's a naturalized Jamaican. I'm a naturalized Jamaican. You can't tell me, I live in Jamaica, I'm going to do something in Jamaica, which citizens are allowed to do. You're going to restrict me by giving me some kind of quota. Me now buy the quota thing. You can't convince me otherwise. It's unfair, it's unjust, it's discriminatory. I'm not sure why the government hasn't taken this up with the JFF. I'm not sure why the JFF, which had a constitution, which clearly stipulates that they don't discriminate and it gives you criteria that entail, is still espousing this view and still doing this. It doesn't make any sense to me. It just doesn't. It needs to change. Now, if you're saying, well, how do the long players going to get in the team? If go get good coach, you know what you should do? Do some of the coaching, get better coaches. I keep hearing how we are physically more dominant than other persuasions. And in Jamaica, it's even more so given our athletic prowess. And yet, we can't produce footballers. Look at our midfielders. We can't produce footballers to play at the highest level. Well, you know what? That's because we lack proper coaching. Now, I know the JFF is trying to improve the coaching. They should do better. But then they go hire a coach from Iceland people. We talk about this. Well, play a defensive football and not teach no technical football to nobody, whether it's senior team, junior team, or anybody else. Does it make any sense to you? So we'll get to the coaching thing and my views on who should be coach. But it's to me, it's not okay to restrict a person from playing in a team if they're good enough because they were born on the island when they're a citizen. Nonsense. Doesn't make sense. Can't support it. So I hear Henry saying people don't have documents. I don't know, Henry. Henry, how do you determine who is telling the truth, Henry? Because the truth seems to drift, Everybody seems to have views. Some people said nobody have documents. Some people said 10 have documents. Some people said 3 have documents. It could be that's an excuse. And what happens is, and you hear in the Observer about one of the reasons the coach resigned was because we weren't allowing overseas players to be in the under 20. I don't know if that's true or not because it doesn't really align because he didn't coach a junior team. But that's why John Wall was reassigned, is my understanding. Now, we told John Wall was reassigned because he could do things at once. I'm going to say this. That's nonsense. No, go so. Now, people say, Kranky, you know that? Because the logic doesn't work. I did in logic. So here's the thing. John Wall was put in place when we knew what the situation would have been in a lot of different instances in terms of possibilities. So why wasn't that considered before? And the people in JFF are not stupid people. You may not like some people in JFF. You may think some of them are incompetent. Yeah, some of them may be, but some of them are very, very smart. Some of them buy some of the things what people are telling me. Now I'm buy it. If you tell me that John Wall got reassigned because he needed him in the senior team, Fidoa. What when the coach are making bad decision and take off Bernard and take off somebody else against when we played against Mexico, where was John Wall providing advice? John Wall not providing no advice. John Wall took up space. So not buy them nonsense people. And people that get me upset with them chat them nonsense there now. Them think that nonsense. Now buy it. Can't buy it. Illogical. And some of the people we're dealing with are very, very logical. They're not logical. I don't understand what you're saying, Gunners Boss, because you know you love to jump in other thing, yeah? So you can't jump in it. So I can't beat you today. Big time. Chris Simmons said, Kranky, I saw an article about Flemings. The club said they bought him based on his caps for Jamaica senior team. But they made me say it because he's not on that level. So here's the question, Chris. If that, I don't know if this is true or not, but if that's the case, aren't we doing a this service to the player? Aren't we doing a disservice to the player? And a disservice to the country itself? That's the question. And as I said before, people, when I met Dest, who played for the U.S. at the airport when I was coming back from Texas, I brought this subject up to him to see, what's the take by fans, the media, and others around foreign-born players like himself playing in the U.S. team. Do they get any pushback? And he basically smiled, like, no, I'm just trying to win. I don't care who play. They don't care who play. They're just trying to win. But us, a very small country, U.S. have 250 million people, and them still a recruit abroad. We have about 3 million in Jamaica and a couple of million away, and we are trying to restrict who can play. If that makes any sense, please let me know, because I'm confused. So, Minzy, what's your view on that?
The whole football thing is in shambles. I agree with you about the reassignment. No, I don't buy it. Boy, I'm cranky. The football just in shambles. It's kind of. I don't know if it is the fans. I don't know if it is the Bailey situation. I don't know if it is frustration. I don't know if Mr. Algrim decides that, yo, I can't matter this a place, this a place that too toxic, because inside information a leak, all of them things there. I wonder if that make him cut. But you're right, if they reassign wall to the senior team. You see them man that pull no weight.
Yeah, but why would you resign to the senior team when you hired him for the junior team?
No, but remember say him first thing was assistant to Alvin. So it was really the senior team.
John Wall has no coaching experience of note. Remember that. And I had a friend of mine, we were talking about this for quite a while. No coaching record of note. No accomplishment on his record of note. Yeah.
You see, Kranky, the hypocrisy in that no, not from you, but me I look on the fan from a fan standpoint. Oh, John Wall a big coach. Oh, I Algrim's a big coach. All of a sudden, when the thing's not going the way that they perceive it should go, everybody turn upon them.
Well, no, Algrim still had at Iceland and took them to a high level, which we can agree upon.
Yeah, but the type of football that Algrimson was playing, it wasn't anything special or anything that the fans wanted based on what they're requiring.
Right.
And they accepted him when he just come. And all of in Algrimson them trust. You remember that chant they did that go on now? In Algrimson we trust now. Me say, me not trust Algrimson now, me not trust JFF for the players them me support.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So
no,
I mean, the football thing's that away, man.
Yeah, and look, it's disappointing when it comes to those things. And look, the coach resigned, which I think is a good thing for the JFF. So they may I don't know if they had a break clause in his contract, but it seemed like when he resigned, he left whatever money he had on the table remaining for the remaining 2 years of his contract, which is about $1 million, which is good for the JFF. Chris saying Algrimson didn't build the Iceland team. I know, but he took them to a high level, didn't he? I think they beat England in that Euro, actually.
Well, Kranky, the thing about it too, you know, they go into the tournament, they're not playing well. Some decisions were, you know, off. But what was Algrimson brought to Jamaica to do? Qualify for World Cup, right?
Right.
This tournament is a fringe to what the big deal is, you know. This is a part of the journey to get to the World Cup, you know. I mean, we enter a tournament and we want to do well, but I mean, did we overreact expecting the Reggae Boyz to sail through a tournament like this? I don't think so. I don't think we could have sailed through a tournament like this.
No, I don't think people wanted to sail through the tournament. Here's why my view is, Minzy. So the coach was good, but the coach was also lucky, right? We played, was it Honduras we played in Jamaica and we struggled big time? I think we beat them 2-1. We played Haiti. They were up 2-0. They should have beaten us, frankly. They had breakaway. They didn't score. We played Dominican Republic and we barely scraped by them when their ratings were 3 times their ratings, 53 to 150. We played Dominica, which is the worst of the bunch. We rated 180 and we struggled with them. So you walk away, and then the football was unattractive, even though we won some game. Now, to be fair, we may have overperformed against some of the other teams, against the US, beat Panama for the first time in a long time. Against Mexico, we got result in Mexico. So for some of the better teams, and we did well in the Gold Cup, even though we ran to Mexico, we got blazed. So it was a mixed outcome, mixed results that we're getting across the board. It wasn't consistently good performance, which then you get nervous because, you know, the World Cup qualifier is only going to get harder. The question arises, is this the person to get me there? And the football was so unattractive, it's not watchable. Or not something that you really want to watch. I think that's the problem, right? What do you say?
Yeah, but Kranky, and you see this whole thing of always blaming the coach, I don't buy into it either, you know. I mean, the coach always in the big seat, of course, that seat, the coach is gonna get all the blame. And I understand that from a coaching standpoint. However, the players have to pull their weight as well. Right. And right through these competitions, were the players pulling their weight? We have games to kill off and we never do it. We get opportunities, we create chances, and we're not finishing it.
Right.
So these are things that cause us not to perform at our best as well. And of course, some decisions that the coach make are made before would have been decisions that are not ones that you try to understand what he was doing, because I was one of the persons who spoke about that Mexico defeat. Why would you change a defender that is not injured, or why would you change a defender in a critical point of the game when the defensive unit would not have caused you to concede? Why change them at that time, especially when Mexico was bearing down the defense?
Yeah.
It's similar to a man you put on for take penalty. He's not in the heat of the game. So you put on a fresh leg man in defense. He's not in the heat of the game. When you're comfortable, you can do that. But when you're defending and trying to prevail under the pressure, I mean, I think so one time you could make a change like that. So he do some things are really off, and probably the whole pressure probably did not get to him. Him just do some things for really say, all right, him I go. I don't know.
Yeah, look, the change was puzzling. Not only the change you made, but who you brought in, right? So Bernard is a much quicker, much more physical player than Hector. Hector is a better ball handler, better with the ball at his feet and progressing the ball, better passer. But you needed the more defensive element to it in the game, given the game was going. And he put Lowe in midfield. And look, I've always said this. I think Lowe is a good player, but he's not a midfielder. So the changes you made, and you made a change in 68 minutes. The goal occurred in 69 minutes. And the goal was scored from the left side where the changes were made, which sort of says everything, right? And it didn't help after that, the subsequent game, when we still went defensive, when we need to get positive outcome, we get blitzed, and then we went more offensive, change of formation. We dominated the game, frankly, and should have had a penalty. And here's my thing about the penalty, which bothered me more than anything else. Really bothered me. Sorry, Minzy. Someone just put something, said, coach was listening to too much YouTube. No, about the TV. Now listen to YouTube, do a better job, trust me. The problem I have, Minzy, is this. When we didn't get the penalty, the coach didn't really do anything, Minzy. Most coaches worth their salt would have lost their mind. Now, in his mind, he resigned already. So
yes, so maybe that's why. In a situation.
Yeah, he resigned already, so he didn't really care. Good evening, Tiga. So Tiga, make sure you turn your mic down before you start speaking.
Yeah, my mic turned weird.
So why your camera not on, Tiga? Minzy's not on because he's in Jamaica.
Why coach's been this deck? Camera is not on.
No, I know what you're gonna say that because you're like follow. The issue is that Minzy's in Jamaica.
No, I don't follow.
No, cause you follow. The first question you say why you're on people. You think they argue with people. Come I bring it to them. He didn't say why his is not on. He said why Minzy on. Why you watch Minzy for? Why you watch Minzy for? I don't understand you. If you watch yourself, so why your camera on? Brother, I'm trying to put a camera in, but Minzy's in Jamaica. He's in the middle of a storm, and I'm sure he's in a certain location. That's why I didn't ask me to put his camera on.
All right, okay. I'm gonna say Minzy under the table.
See, you have no reason to put your camera on. See, you have no reason.
No, but that's because you're gonna say something.
What you have to say, Tiga? We're talking about Jamaica football. By the way, people, the main part of this discussion today was supposed to be athletics, But the coaching carousel we got you. But we're talking athletics, we'll talk Kishane, we'll talk oblique, Minzy specialization them there, and we'll talk Noah. Come on, go through some stats, and the stats look good for we. But go ahead, Tiga.
I side with coaches Dex for the first time. We were saying that the main objective for the coach was to get us to the World Cup, and yet still people making a lot of noise. And if you look at the World Cup record, he played too much and got full points, around 6 points. You understand? And the team that he used to play the World Cup, and if we're making an assessment, the team that he used to play the World Cup against Dominican Republic and against Dominica is not the same team that was playing in the Copa. Now imagine if this side was playing in the Copa, the same side that we play in the Copa was playing the World Cup qualification. Do you think that Dominica would have chance? If we
let me say this, Tiga. Yeah. I think we had Rudolph on at some point, and we're talking about given Dominica's lack of ability, how many JPL team would they beat? And I think the view was maybe 2.
No, but
no. There's a point being made with that statement.
Hold on. You play football, Kranky? You play football?
I mean, you
ever
watch
play
my video.
football?
You don't watch my
Coach,
Wait. Back up, Tiga. Back up, Tiga. You don't watch my video.
No, hold on. But
No. Did you watch my video?
No, you know on a given day. You know on a given day.
You ask that question, man. Answer you.
I can't. I can just turn up. Even them not good. They just get some passes together and them look brilliant. They say, "Oh, is this why this side don't play so good, consistent?" You just turn up and play some football. Just like for 90 minutes. So
Haiti just turn up and play some. Haiti just turn up and play some football. We draw 2-2 with Haiti. Dominican Republic turn up and play some football. Dominica just turn up and play some football. Really? When we have APL players and championship players and MLS players, really? And then have nobody we can call up play no league, no way.
It is just the game. But the fact of the matter is the result. Did we lose? No. When we play 80, we never lose. And we when we play 80 and all those things, we get where we wanted to go. We qualify for the Copa. We have 6 points on the World Cup. I agree that the football wasn't all that pretty, but the consistency of picking the same team over and over wasn't there at all.
So you're using euphemism by saying it wasn't pretty, it was ugly. There's a difference between not being pretty and being ugly.
No, you can't say, but the consistency of picking the same team members over and over wasn't consistent or throughout his
But most of the players were there, Tiga.
Huh?
Most of the players were there.
Tiga, why weren't you saying that before?
Why that was already?
Yeah, why were you saying that before when the coach was picking the team? No, so why? No, the problem is I have, everybody always. Let me talk now, brother. Let me talk now. You did that talk, man.
Cool.
What I'm saying, the problem I have, every single one of us, and I'm also including myself, we always speak after the fact and based off hindsight. So don't behave like say when team pick, we say yo a good team. We only say why this virgin. All right, go on, talk.
No, but no. I understand what you said, but don't classify. I am always of the view. Even the time when the coach played Guatemala, it was that he carried JPL team and play Guatemala and get a draw result in New Jersey. They didn't give the man because every time them a ball out, you need to use this. And the man is not playing with a consistent team to get a consistent result.
Tigat. In the competitions that he entered, him always have him base team. So I don't understand what you say.
What about the World Cup? We're talking about the World Cup qualifications.
But are you a boss? Say we get 6 points, he get 6 points. So you change your argument.
That's you should have given him. My point is, you should still give him credit instead of them beat him. Them should still give credit because it wasn't the consistent team. Remember, I remember.
But the people, Tigat, the people them now see the tournament were gone, The people are seeing the tournament in front of them. Remember, I don't fire JFF fire him, him resign. But the people wanted, listen,
He can say that, but that was what is shown on paper.
The people wanted to see Jamaica skate through the Copa, which is impossible.
Very much so.
That is what I'm saying. But at least we should have come out of the group. Some decision that the coach made in the competition was off, brother, and you know that.
All right, fine.
He had some of his better players for that competition than the World Cup qualifiers.
Yeah, but that is true. That is true. But this is what I'm saying. We don't know before because we hear in the article that was printed in the Observer, we hear that the coach was about to take his leave from the Nation League. The Nation League that me, you, and Kranky went to, we hear that the coach was going to leave, and he didn't leave. That means trouble was brewing from before. So we don't know what state of mind him going to with the Copa. And if the article saying that he was going to leave before the Nation League, them not being true to us. They're not.
So
They're
let,
not.
let me let me just say a couple of things. Let me
So
say
we
a
are
couple of
deduct.
things.
We are this. We are deduct that yeah, that might be the case. But at the end of the day, do you believe that Al Grimson was doing everything that he needs to do in terms? All right, make a vote on the decision that he made in the Copa. Do you think that the team was doing well in the Copa?
In the Copa, the first match they play well. The second match, a little. You understand? And the third match, no. I think they just just let it.
Decision making.
Yes. But I'm just saying, what state of mind the coach went to going into the Copa. If they say the coach was planning to resign before the Nation League semi-final, what state of mind would he go into? If you're planning to leave, you're going to go in with a no-care attitude.
No, Tigat.
I'm just saying that.
Yeah, but hold on, you have a point there, but I'm telling you that you have some persons that are so professional that they resign a job and they have 3 weeks, they give a 3 weeks notice or a month's notice, but they still show up to work on time, do all that they have to do to ensure that things are in progress for the next next scope.
Hold up. I have the mic. I'm waving my hand, which is I've done that more than once actually. And I make sure I am, because you can't burn your bridge. It's not even burn your bridges. I'm a professional.
Exactly.
You're a professional, so as a professional operate. So yeah.
But Kranky,
so say six Kranky agree with me. And Tigat, I have seen Tigat, I have seen persons do that for sure. So even though we might say, and I'm not saying that Al Grimson was not in a good frame of mind, but I'm just telling you that there are instances and cases where people resign their jobs and they still go in and give their 100% still. So we can't judge and say that he wasn't giving 100%. And rightfully so, you could be right. But we can't pinpoint and say that was the case.
Yeah, look, I do think someone is saying, and this person is saying that, sometimes bloggers are hypocrites. They talk after the fact. But think about it this way, people. So sometimes you can't just say, when the coach joined, him not good, we don't want him. You give the coach a chance. But you're looking for sustained performance. Here's what people don't realize. So even though you may be winning, people are just like, you know what? I don't see where we're going. We're winning. The football is unattractive. We're barely winning. We're not dominating. And with the players we have, given some of the teams we play, we should be dominating those teams. We should not be in the edge of our seat wondering Dominican is going to come back and beat us after going up 3-0 and 3-2. We should not be on the edge of our seat thinking, Dominican Republic may beat us. We can't be on the edge of our seat thinking, you know what, Haiti have us 2-0 down, get breakaway that could have scored and didn't score. Nobody want to watch that kind of football. Again, when inferior teams are playing you want to dominate them. There may be one-off aberrations where, you know what, you didn't turn up today and they play well. But we weren't seeing that consistent performance, attractive football, which we think the quality of the team warrants. And I don't disagree with Minzy sometimes to say, you know what? It's a shared responsibility wherein both the coach, the players mainly, and to a lesser extent the administration, owns how well the team performs on the field. And it's not helped when we have off-field distraction, which then my understanding was the coach lost the dressing room with some of his decisions, not just about the field, but what the circumstance that transpired off the field. That can't be good.
And Kranky, see, I have watched the games with a few people, and they are giving their comment on it, and pretty much them must say the players them not ready. So even though we are say the coach not ready to, in his decision making and stuff that he does, it is a situation also where the players can be considered as not being good enough. And I have seen in comment section a lot of people saying the same thing to the players, just not good enough. And Kranky, you have been saying it for years as well.
Yeah.
Oftentimes we blame the coach, but at the same time, it's a shared responsibility between the coach and the players. And I mean, I remember doing a video months ago, or a year ago, Kranky, when the players lead, they were saying that Al Grimson's tactics are not good enough, too defensive. And I have heard also that a pure defensive thing working doing in a practice. So was the writing on the wall for him for real? Is Algrim was he really the man? Because as me say, a lot of people were saying Kranky in Algrim, so we trusting, and me say, me not trust no man, me not trust no JFF. I'm going to support the players. So it just good. You just see the thing unfold in front of your eyes. People are calling for Algrim to go. People are saying never did good from a long time. But when him just come, everybody are support him. You see what I said? That's why I said sometimes people are hypocrite.
Yeah, well, almost all of us are hypocrites, actually.
Yeah.
But there's degrees of hypocrisy, right? Some people are just pleading hypocrite 24/7. Some is maybe 1 hour out of the day, but we all have some hypocrisy in us in some way, shape, or form. Because you sometimes don't do what you say. You don't do what you say. You want other people to do it, but you don't do it. Go ahead, Tiga.
Yeah, and with Travis, I agree with you. I did, and Menzies said some of these players we're pushing them over, think they are a superstar. Some of the players them, and they are not superstars. You understand? They are not superstars. I don't want to call a name, but when I'm doing the show, when I do some of my watch along, my call out some of the players, them they're really good. Them not good, but these are what we have. And then we expect them to perform. Not because the last time I had a conversation with I think I was on Monday Man Show, and it was like, do you see how Joel play? Some of these players only play good because of when they're in their club, it's because of who is around them and then can perform. But when they drop into the Jamaican team now, different play, different personality, and they can't perform the way they perform at their clubs. And that is always.
But guys, in most instances, the coach is the one who gets fired.
That's what I'm saying. Because all right, when you can say class of a player like Damara Gray, it sometimes in the game 100%, but when him do get the ball, you see something. You see a sheer bring a brilliancy from Damara Gray. You understand? Mikel Antonio come back, play the ball. He not get the ball, he not stay this up and last of the game. Him get himself at the game. And next foul that the game, you don't see him none at all. You don't see him come back. You don't see him try.
Well, I think so. Two things on that. One is Jarvis. I don't hear anyone say the players are not good. They say they're not good enough. That qualification, that last word is important. Because what they're saying is that we can rephrase it and say the players are not the level we need for us to be successful.
Say we're dominating, right? The players
right?
are not,
the players, we're not saying the players are not, nobody's saying the players are not good. They say good enough, which means
them can dominate.
Right. If we want to play against the US, if we want to dominate the US, dominate Canada, we need players who have the right skill set and ability to do so.
Right.
Right. We're not saying the players are not good because that'd be a stupid comment because they're professional. So they must have some ability to be playing at a professional level. But are they the right quality we need to dominate in this region? That's the question that's being asked. Go ahead, Tiga.
Yeah, I'm saying they're not up to that. I was oh yeah, but there are certain players on the pitch where you can show say yo they have quality. They have really, and then some players they have the quality. Some people have potential. Dixon have potential. A lot of potential. Just really need to get in the right hand. A lot of potential with Dixon. Some players, them really, really, really buck. Do you understand?
But you see, Tiga, in it goes to show that the players probably not up to standard where CONCACAF. Remember, CONCACAF is a rigid area, you know. Seeing? And the players that we have never seen, whoever the coach is, I'm just talking about the players that we have, them never really dominate a CONCACAF team yet. So
well, you mean a high level CONCACAF team? Because we did dominate teams in the Gold Cup, but not the Canadas. So here's the thing: the Canada, Costa Rica,
team who dominated in the Gold Cup. You're Kranky.
Trinidad, more than one. Trinidad, we played Trinidad and Grenada. We dominated them. We get about 5 or whatever the number was. We dominated in the Gold Cup. Remember, US, we draw with US, should have beat them because we get a penalty. We kick away twice, same penalty, right? At least in the first round, we got dominated by Mexico later.
If you don't win and you do all of that, that cannot be dominated.
No, what I mean is this. So we dominated some of the smaller teams when we had our full team, like Trinidad. I think we played Trinidad and Grenada. Am I correct? And we played US and somebody else. We dominated those teams. I think we played Guatemala, it may have been. But we didn't dominate the US, even though it was their C team, supposedly. But we played them well, and we should have won the game, at least in my view. But the problem we have is this. When we play Costa Rica, Mexico, Panama, US, Canada, we don't dominate. In fact, we struggle most times. When Canada play US, it's an even game. You don't know who's going to win. When we play those teams, most times it's not an even game. We just struggle to keep up. And we're saying if we have 5.5, 6 EPL players in our team, right? We have Amari Bell, we have Antonio, we have Pinnock, we have the prodigal son, we have Bobby Reed, right? And to a lesser extent, we have people like Lemberkeys who have played and played 1 or 2 games. We have these 5 EPL players. Most of the other ones we have play in the championship. As we have a few players like Lowe play MLS. People like Blake can play championship, maybe even on the cusp of EPL. We have a lot of supposedly good players. So the question being asked is, why aren't we doing better? Why aren't we competing with the US, who maybe have similar quality players? Maybe some of them are better, but we play at similar level. So why aren't we doing better? That's the question.
Can I say something? Kranky, you just said something to me a while ago. It just dropped in my brain a while ago, right? Canada and Jamaica. But look at Canada and Jamaica. Jamaica beat up Canada to qualify, and Canada to go to a different route to qualify, right? The zone that Canada in and the zone that Jamaica in the Gold Cup. That's why I'm saying that at any given time.
You mean the Copa? You mean the Copa?
In the Copa. That's why I say at any given time, a side can be good. The time when we beat Canada, you understand? We show up on the day and we beat Canada in Canada to come back to qualify for the Copa. All right? Look how Canada is playing now. You think that we are better than Canada? You think if we play Canada, you think we can beat Canada?
No, we're not. People, let's be honest about this. So when we played Canada in Jamaica, to me, it wasn't basically an even game that they beat us. We had the prodigal son had 3 clear-cut chances he missed. We could have won that game or close. When we played Canada, they dominated us.
Right.
The first half, they could have scored 5 goals, 4 or 5 goals. Right. Second half, Lowe decided to go on a one-man mission. Destroy.
That's what I'm saying.
Right?
So that's the nature of the football. And we came out victor. You understand? That's what I'm saying. That's why when you were making the example between Dominica and Dominican Republic, or they play and we never done. That's what I'm just.
But Tiga, it's not a good comparison because those teams. No, Tiga. No, it's a poor comparison. Here's why: because our team have quality players in it who are playing at the highest level. Name me one Dominica player playing at the highest. No, at any level, except Bush League.
They come prepared to play Jamaica. They didn't come and say, all right, Jamaica, big name, we're gonna sit down and we'll just play some. They come prepared to play.
Okay.
That's just the bottom line. They come prepared to play and they did play some football.
No, look. No, they ain't playing no football. We just make them look
but
good. Sorry, I can't admit that. Dominican Republic, maybe not Dominica.
Although they play, we won. We still have 6
points. But Tiga, how do you then get comfort from how do fans get comfort from us struggling with Dominica? How do fans have any confidence in the coach when that occurs? Maybe you and Minzy can explain that to me, because when you have those games and you see you struggle, and if you're the JFF, you get nervous because, as I said in my brilliant song I wrote, which was Battered to Death, 2026 is almost here. We don't want 2026 to be a nightmare. We want it to be enjoyed 2026. Right? We don't want 2026 to be a nightmare. And frankly, the way it was been going, it could have become a nightmare given how we played against those 2 teams. That has to change. Has to change. Bless up Jason Guna. Bless up Mills. Everybody's saying, look, the theme is that the coach was too defensive. And I agree with that. And I'm sure some of the players thought that. The coach was too defensive. Now, the question for us going forward is who's going to be the next coach? This for you and Minzy. What attributes should we look for in the next coach? People, after we... you know what? Let me do this first. Let me put up some comments, address them, and then we'll go to...
Let me answer them. Let me answer them. I am not looking for no coach. Whoever comes, I'm going to assess, because when you think about that, everybody will give them preference, All right, now, if I had a chance, I would have gone for Pep Guardiola. Seeing? but we know that can't work. So those are the attributes that I would look for a Pep Guardiola type of coach. Bad man coach, when I take no prisoner. Seeing
And I take no talk. And I take no talk.
When
Except
player
from De Bruyne.
yeah, when player go out there foolish and just X them off and move on with them team.
Yeah.
So that's my answer.
Okay, what's your answer? I have attributes I'm looking for. Go ahead, Tiga.
All right. So, what I don't want. Listen, what I don't want. I want, like when the coach resign, I want everybody on his staff to resign too. I don't want none of these staff members to become interim. That's what I want. None of his staff to become interim coach. I want a brand new coach that, as a Kranky coach said, not take no talk from nobody, and then pick a good team and they move forward. But I don't want the interim person coming on. None of the person that leave behind become interim. I want the technical committee to just say, all right, thank you for your service, and move on.
So Amen, I'm gonna get to the point. Let me just read Amon's comment. She said, Reggae Girls qualify for 2 GUPs without quotas by choosing based on merit. The Reggae Boyz failed 5 times trying to qualify with quotas. Only best available player should be selected. Here's what happens with the Reggae Girls. Because they don't know nobody at Jamaica will play Reggae Girls, so then they can't do nothing but to choose the best players. That's a fact, right? If they had enough quality players in Jamaica, they would still have their quotas for the Reggae Girls. But because they don't have them, then they go out and source the best players who qualify to play for Jamaica. They're not doing with the Reggae Boyz because they have a local league with local personnel who want their local players in the team. That's a fact. So for a coach, there are a number of attributes one need to look for. A coach that's adaptable. So one who can blend to understand the culture, being able to navigate the culture and the challenges. A coach with strong management skills, being able to manage the players, the constituent, which are sponsors, fans' expectation, manage the JFF, manage holistically all that's around him. Being able to adapt to the environment he's going to operate in. You're not going to have the best infrastructure. You're not going to get paid the most money. Have $1 million for prime international coaches. Not a ton of money. People may think so. It sounds like a lot, but it's not. A lot of coaches make more money. A coach who plays possession football. We don't want no kick and hold football. We don't want kick and hold business. And a coach who can bring his philosophy and style of play to the team so we all know what it is versus saying, you know what, you play defensive, we have no idea what you're doing. All you're doing is play defensive. You set up about 8 defenders and play a low block football. I want a coach also who plays pressing football. If the players are not fit, which is ridiculous because a lot of them play pressing football, work with them to get fit to play pressing football. We're supposed to be more athletic, stronger, faster, better built players. Well, why? You know what? We should dominate physically and not playing second fiddle, right? And that coach to me seemed to have, and be able to speak the language, by the way. So even they're a Spanish coach, which I advocate for, you gotta be able to speak English. Because we saw what Emery did at Arsenal and what he's doing at Villa now. He went and learned English after Arsenal fired him, doing a much better job. And I'm getting a call in. Good evening. Good evening. Who am I speaking to?
Yes.
Good evening, Jason. Can you guys hear it, Jason?
It's low.
I'm going to turn it up. Can you hear it now? You're supposed to hear it now. Go ahead, Jason.
Yeah, Kranky. Yes or no?
Yeah.
You're not about coaches, attributes, and coaches study culture. In that culture, a problem. We just need a coach to left who can perform. We just need a coach with guts to see if that player not good enough, reach his ceiling I want, drop him and get one other player. And that's how where Algrimson fail to do. You get me? Most of these guys, we are trying them over 3 World Cup cycles. This come make 3 World Cup cycles. We are trying with some guys. And it now get better. So it's time to move on from them and set us. Guys are but reach to the ceiling to match the CONCACAF side. To match the rest of them like Mexico, America, and Canada, right? You can't have one side for 10 years and you're going to beat America one time or two times. And you did it 10 years. That's all right. You did it 7 years and I have side now in a free zone which I going to beat one time, two times, and then I beat a draw. That means you're not good enough left on the side then.
So is it the coach or the players?
He's the player and the coach. The coach needs to, he's not a player, a coach. We need some coach but to leave some player off of the side. So no matter who from better player come, you bench or you get dropped off by the side. I only going forward. If you have a man on the side, we say, so you know, on the side 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and he not get better, you don't gonna get worse and him still get sick. You know, make sense. You see me? I mean, I want to call on name. Everybody know, say, from the forward, come down to the midfield, some of them guys they need to go. Some of them need to go. I don't want to talk about have nobody, but if we need a coach was willing to stand up and stick inside, after we start over. Instead of arguing, so we start over and then just come to Jamaica, we'll have a better side.
Okay.
If we talk about 6 or 7 clear from the last side what we did it, we would have a better side. You get me? So, you know, culture problem or nothing. The coach just need to pick over himself, pick his side where he want. Not pick who say this is somebody when they nice side much years ago, so I have to pick him. In a survey, if we feel again, we'll continue to feel ever so you go.
So are you talking about specific players or just any player?
Well, misses some player what need to drop. Bowser, he need to rub a bench or him stay in club. VM Low a fighter, so him can step on the bench and come on when they're ready to use it. When I ask him about drop VM Low, him can come on come either run up and attack with someone or steal out one game. But you know, deserve to start every game like he said he can't do without it. You get me? Matter of fact, I'm sure about them 2 personally. So right now, it's time to move on from them 2 personally. Either game I look up on the bench, Bowser no forward.
What do you mean? He plays center forward. He plays center forward for his club team.
Kranky, we need a forward who can cut in and shoot. We don't even fall for a run from half line to score. If you don't do that, you can't score. We need a forward because when I back, if I chop him, we chop one man, or if we flake one man and take one shot, he can't do it. We see most of flake man already and take shot, and a fluke shot come off. His shot not come off good. We never see him try to move the ball and kick the ball hard.
Didn't he do that against Canada when Lowe gave him the ball? Didn't he do that in that game?
That's enough play. That come like one time. Somebody pass the ball, I run and party and kick. I had the shot that machine take for how long. That's alone machine take hard.
So what do you so let's summarize this. What if you were JFF, what would you do in terms of players and coach? Summarize it in about 1 minute.
All right, guess what? If me and JFF, one more tell you, the coach will come to guess what? You see anybody who you don't want, who not good enough to make a side, me no business what you do with them. If you want to drop them, I drop them. If you want to go overseas the player, you go overseas the player. If you see one player in a local league what good enough, you pick him. But no free job, nobody bigger than his side. And that I'm gonna tell the coach what come.
Kranky, me soon forward.
All right. Yeah.
Minzy, how you run the go?
Minzy's in Jamaica. He's got bigger issues than what we're providing here.
Yeah. But trust me.
Remember Starmer Blue?
If a coach, Yeah, me know that. But it's another country if a coach can't have him own authority. Say me we don't want to run him this side now go far.
Okay.
You get it? We see and know say we have two good wingers. We have wingers where we care ball from people and pass off back without losing. Them are great. Me love him, losing ball for purpose. Barely we can play if him do the right thing, he play. You get me? So winger not a problem. So the midfield is the problem. You get me? Dexter good. So
But
you right back all right.
Carla.
Yeah.
The two players you say for drop, right? You just said the midfield is the problem. The two players for drop was Damian Lowe and Bowser. None of these players play midfield. One's a forward and one's a defender. So if you drop the forward and if you drop the forward and the defender, and you say the midfield is a problem, they will still have a problem.
Yeah, when Mr. Murdo with Damian Lowe, I put him on the bench. Because I put him in midfield.
You don't drop none of the midfielders. You don't drop the Bobby Day Reed. You don't drop the Daniel Johnson. You don't drop the Palmer. You don't drop the Anderson. You don't drop why? But I don't understand.
All right. Yes or no? Let me get deep tonight then. Bobby Reed probably bench too. KC Palmer probably bench. Them the players left on the bench. Them players have come off the bench. You see this young nice 20-year-old impia play. You get me? Bobby Reed he come off the bench. Only thing I love about Bobby Reed, he will tackle. He will defend. He will run back and defend. But on the outlet, I not see him bringing ball and they make right pass and not losing ball. So we have a problem did it too. You get me? Right now, what kind of who on this side me see? Pia start. Dexter Lambikisa. This Lucian Bernard. I say his name, the one who I quote to take off.
Deshaun Bernard.
Yeah, him Pia start. Gregley or the one who are injured other day.
Amari Bell.
Anyone of them, two of them they can start. Them are great start. I don't talk about Liam Bale, because Liam Bale is nice guy right now. Right? And if somebody are LC fast to hold up in head, him to start on the right wing.
Is that possible? Is that possible, caller? Is that possible?
No, but yes or no? Mr. Sitting at CFS, which part, if you was a coach, the task him what you want him to do, and make him do it, he may get better.
Okay.
Isn't it? Some people.
We can answer one question,
Yeah.
Carla. The amount of game that CFAS play for Jamaica. Tell me what brilliancy did CFAS show that he should be in the Jamaica team starting?
Yes or no? He got a whole lot of what football. And if you see a ball at one time, you can tell if you have something in him. You go somewhere one time and see what you want to feel. I say, that you have something. Me see that in a CFAS. You get me? Me see that in a CFAS.
Yeah.
And the right back, each time he get better and better. You see me, Dexter Lambikisa, each time he come, he get better and better and better. I play like them you want in a
So caller, I have a question for you, caller. And I'll play devil's advocate here. Rob Smith posed that Shamar scores a goal every 2.7 games. He said that's an amazing return in international football, but he should be out of the squad. So he's saying that you're saying he should be out, but his goal record suggests otherwise.
Yes or no, Kranky? Sometimes, it is sometimes when an forward score goal, that is a plus. That's our biggest plus. But on the other hand, if he have skills, you get me? Paul can have skills. If he can shape, if he can pass the ball well and shoot well, if he can pick up all up in and make a assist a man, get him can shape. Both have assist in him and him have shape in him. You want to play back and hold up and beat one man or hold the ball and pass up like it's a great. Hold you over there sometime. Try to see if he can beat him.
What color? Can I stop? Can I stop everyone here, Jason, and say this? But you have some of those attributes in Antonio, but he doesn't score a lot of goals. So before me say that, people, we don't come back and give me a hard time. Me not care. He scored once in his last 8 games for Jamaica. His return is about 4 in 17.
He must have come back too much. If me, the coach's side, I'm saying Antonio, me no want to left off by 2 last defense. Now you run back, see upon them. That means that whether it's swing ball over in the box, do we score. Antonio will get goal like that. But then you have to run, come back down, and a run go up. That's not going to work.
All right.
How much of fact, we want one forward because I'm not 100% sure about Antonio to that. We want one real forward. Isn't me?
All right,
Jason. I want a forward to compete with Antonio. Antonio can hold the bench, you know.
Yeah.
You know, go and go with Spartan can hold the bench, you know.
All right, Jason. We hear you, Jason. We hear you. Thanks for the call. We appreciate you as usual, sir.
Thank you. You know.
Big up yourself.
Whatever they are for the show him again, man.
T-Got.
I never know. T-Got, you know. Everybody want to watch the football, them see and know what's going on. So we need to stop and lie to yourself in front of your face. We need to talk the truth while they go on. No biases.
All right, Jason. Appreciate it, Jason. Appreciate the call.
Chris Smith.
Chris Smith.
Everything you said, Chris Smith, if you're hearing me, everything you said, I said, but I'm not going to say it publicly, but everything you said, Chris Smith, everything you type, now watch your type, all your comment, I've been saying that. Me I said that, Chris Smith. Everything you said, me I said that. But I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna come and say it because you have to interview them.
You're not brave enough. You're not brave enough.
You have to interview them because
so people. Let me mention that actually.
So Chris, you have to interview them.
So people. T-Got just mentioned something which I think is important because I think sometimes the subscribers and people in the comment section will wanna sometimes give YouTubers a very hard time about how they speak about certain players or how they engage certain players. Yet those same personnel want those players to come on and be interviewed by those same YouTubers. You can't have it both ways. You can't have somebody destroying somebody on a channel and you think that person's gonna come on their channel. No, they're not gonna come on their channel. Right? They're not. And that's the difficult thing I'm now realizing. Well, I know that already, but I have to manage, which is how severe is the criticism? And what's the implications of such criticism? Because most media personnel have to deal with that. Good evening. Good evening. Who am I speaking to? Hello?
KJ, are you hear me?
Yeah, we're hearing you now, yes.
Yeah, man. Big up T-Got, see me too, you know?
Big up yourself, bro.
Yeah, man. First and foremost, big up to the previous caller still. You know, I mean, everybody have their own views and their own kind of perspective sometimes. I don't know. I think in the long run, I think we all just want the best outcome, you see me? So that's why I go still. But I just still want to make a few pointers regarding views and just, you know, see if you can see this from a perspective. You see, a player like Boza are number 9. They are natural number 9 type of players. I mean, even what's his name? Antonio to an extent, but I mean, like say he's nothing. I'm gonna say to an extent in terms that he might have a little bit more flexibility than Boza, but Boza is a real old school type of 9 in terms of how the modern game play. So if I understand, say him might have a lot of technical aspect to him game, but one thing, if him get the ball in front of the goal, or if him get a good time or a good moment to kick the ball, he most likely have it in the back of the net. With all that said and done, with old school number 9, when they are not on form, they look very ordinary. Even to the modern footballers, even the likes of Haaland, Lukaku, they are Belgium, people cuss that man wicked too. So, but just I give a name or two, just to give an example, say, they can look very ordinary when they're not really a perform or, or when they're not on form, that confidence level kind of drop. It's really a mental thing, 90% for them, and they know that. And it's really 10% technical are the game because they know the game. It's just that the moments when it don't happen, they can fall off. So I just start me that say about Boyz are still like, if I would agree with him, like, listen, if he's on form, you want to bench the player and bring him on so they get back the confidence. But that's how you get them to kind of compete and build back them form. But otherwise, apart from that, Jamaica don't really have much good number nines. If we want to be technical, we don't really have much good number nines. And it depends on the coach. If they're going to play with a number 9, you have to work with what you have and basically try to work them into form. So both of them really and truly kind of been lagging. I would beat Antonio to him really kind of out of form, especially for us on the international stage. But, it's just one of them moments. Once them get it going, them can look really good.
So, Carla, I have a question for you because it's been an interesting question. And I've gotten another beaten about this, but I don't mind getting beaten. The question is this. So Antonio has about 4 in 17, I think. Boza has 19 in 50, somewhere in that range. So his goal and scoring record is much better than Antonio, frankly, even though he's played more games.
Mm-hmm.
What criteria then would you use to pick who starts up front if you go with one forward, given that one goal scoring record is much better, but the others are more complete forward?
All right, I'm going to answer to you by using one player. And the reason why I use this one player is because he played for my club and he's now playing for yours. Kyle Havertz. When that guy was at Chelsea, the system, the setup, most of the time it didn't work for him. You understand? And even for the first half of the season when he was at when he started playing for Arsenal, it wasn't working for him. Sometimes you have to work with him because as the coach, even people, I'm not an Arsenal fan, but me hear Arsenal fans beat him. So me already expected to come and say, yeah, man, I'm glad I'm not sure we do. But the whole point of what I say is like, sometimes you get impatient with the player because guess what? You want him to produce. And it's the same thing with the coach. The coach kind of see him off, within training and say, yo, no, man, if you get the right moment, he will show up. And I think that's when it comes to Antonio, for example. The coach believes in both of them. But in I think with a lot of sense of Antonio, he allows Antonio to do that freelance. I think he likes when Antonio does freelancing because clearly he's the coach and would have to stop it. But I think he likes that because he knows it. For example, with Jamaica, if we think about it, apart from that goal that Antonio scored, Antonio go deep and score against US, deep in the go and get the ball and score in €100.
So I must stop it.
He's been that type of player.
Carla, stop it. So here's what I'm confused about. So when Antonio run up and down over the field, out of position, not in the box, we're giving him kudos and credit. When Lowe chase the ball for break-up play, win the ball, and give him for them, we criticize him. Isn't that hypocritical? And lack consistency?
No, but hold on, Kranky. Hear the difference with that too. The coach don't stop Lowe because again, he doesn't mind him play like
but the fans beat Lowe for that. So why am I confused about consistency in how we evaluate players when we're saying play? I'll give you an example. Thierry Henry, when he was at Barcelona, he was playing wide on the wing. Pep liked his players to play wide. He wasn't getting the ball, so he switched, get the ball and scored, and Pep bench him. You know why he bench him? He has a strategy, he has a process, he has a formation, he has structure. Everybody has their role, and if you break that, you break the entirety of that, what is being constructed and what's there. You're not playing within the system, and the system has to work, and all pieces are depending on each other. So if we're giving latitude to Antonio, why aren't we giving latitude to Lowe?
Well, because it's not necessarily that we still learn, because at the end of the day, Kranky, you're asking us as a fan for kind of relate, like you said, to split justice. But the whole point of what I said, because the coach allow it, I think the coach is just going off the moment how you see him perform in the Canada game. I say, listen, him to just run free, break up the play anyway it was, and create an effectiveness with it. And he's hoping for that one moment again, for we all continue to say, yeah, man, you need for the end of that midfield. But the thing is, apart from what we can say about Lowe was not helpful to pass the ball even if he break it up. It wasn't helpful for kind of, see the game better or it make rational plays where cost us sometimes get some serious card, like in the game last Ecuador game. You honestly in England or some places I see people give red card for that play where make, you know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. I think most people worry about Lowe because Lowe just, I mean, him kind of not seem like him know how to read the game sometimes. I read the plays sometimes, I should say, not the game, the plays sometimes. I think that was the biggest factor. I don't really know if to describe it.
Right.
I understand why I say still because it's unfair. But the difference is though, Lowe really and truly now playing in his position now. Even though Antonio plays the 9, him just roam wherever him feel like. And that's the difference.
And the question is, if you have a system of play, Aroma kills that system of play. It's like people were complaining about Harry Kane dropping deep. So that when the ball gets in the box, if you get a fast, nobody's in the box to tap the ball in the goal. So you can't have it both, right? You got to be consistent about how we think about these things. Now, to me, Lowe is not a midfielder, so he shouldn't be in the midfield. He's just not a midfielder. And the number 6 needs discipline, but the 9 also need disciplined people.
No, I agree with you. I mean, think about it. People like me here, the call I mentioned, and I'm a bit like even Bobby Reid. You see, like how even Liverpool, for example, if them have certain fringe player where them know say, yo, these players are very effective. You understand? That's the thing with a Bobby Reid. Bobby Reid serves us well when he's playing higher. That little bit at number 10 role or upon the flank. But the thing is, he might not have the distribution or he might have overworked too much in terms of saying in the midfield, and him kind of look ordinary at times. You understand? So it's a process. People, if everybody want to be real and honest, that knows about football, me I don't know pro about football, but I know this is why we have midfield problem, because midfield is the most technical part of the game. You have to be a good scanner, a good reader. You're in between the defense and the offense, and you have to know when and how to break, distribute, and also change the game. So it's a very technical part of the game. So when we ask a player like Lowe or Bobby Reid going on the middle, and them now look good when we say throw them out, it really kind of unfair upon them, because we see that with Latipo there. When he was in the middle, he give us a couple of moments, and then when he went back in the defense, everybody said, no man, the youth not play him right. At the same for that. You see me? So I just think like at the end of the day, this is where these blames and the problem with the coach was the problem, because like you mentioned, when you have Antonio roam like that, we know say a number 9 really supposed to be doing, and then you can really say question yourself, say, but what the coach I do? Because how much times we have to see Antonio do this every game?
Here's a question, because if the philosophy and if the perspective is that Antonio is a much better forward than Boza, but Boza is more disciplined playing his possession, and Boza's goal scoring record is much better than Antonio. Is it because Antonio is roaming when he get more chance to score more goals? And isn't goal the most difficult thing to do in football? And don't you need these goals just to win games? Because people like Claudine will tell you there is no comparative here. And Claudine dismisses the stats because she loves Antonio and he plays at a high level. And what she's missing in this, because she likes to beat me and she likes to put the whip, is that goals win football games. 2.7 ratio versus 4.something ratio is not comparable. It's not.
But hold on, Kranky.
It's not comparable. And you're playing against similar opponents. And by the way, wait. People think I'm defending Boza. I'm not defending nobody. Because Boza touched about 12 times against Ecuador. I'm shooting on the field. That's my philosophy.
No, I understand what you're saying, but here's the thing. There is some unfairness. You have to look on it like you said. We still haven't get to see Antonio being at his, in terms of saying, being distributed or used the best in terms of the Jamaica system. It is unfair because
we don't know this because he's always moved. How do we know what system fits Antonio?
But Kranky, listen to what I said.
Yeah.
How the coach are going to use both at number 9s at the same time? You have to expect one for Rome, because guess what? 9 out of 10 the teams we're playing are going to outpossess us. 9 out of 10 you can't have 2 man that stand up this away from the ball. 9 out of 10
but here's what's funny about it. Yeah, I know what you're saying, but here's what's funny about this. A lot of times Antonio was supposed to be the 9. And Boza playing off him, or Bailey playing off him, or Bobby Reid playing off him. Yet him still have downfield instead of them chase the ball. Like him play primary school football.
But again, that's the coach. But coach would have really and truly adjust that or assess that, But here's the thing now. A couple of things you mentioned. And I just want to, before my correct one, here's the thing with Boza. Yes, Boza will stay up top, but guess what? Boza doesn't move into place to collect the ball a lot. And when he gets the ball, Boza is not effective with his quick movements or pass. It might be a little manhandle, but the difference, I think everybody can agree, even me. The thing with Antonio, 9 out of 10, if Antonio hold up the play, he will get a foul. 9 out of 10.
Right. That's true.
He barely will lose the ball. He will get the foul, or he will basically drag 2 players. So you have your flank players to really dominate and kill the game if possible. So right. I think that is the thing. You sometimes want your number 9 to be useful because just like Haaland, think about it. Haaland not really useful in no other way up top apart from he's drawing that attention. Forget the flankers them kick the ball or pass it to him and he knocks it in. You want Antonio to stay up top, but like I said, the coach, you're putting 2 number 9, it's gonna be a difficult. If he was even doing it with 1, I think we would have allowed him now see, and we could have judged it fairly, but we couldn't because they want to just keep on using both of them like it was unfair. You couldn't make a proper assessment to say, all right, no, we could have said, yeah, man, 1 would have been, it would have 1 and done and it justified. It's kind of unfair to assess,
All right.
But
well, thank you. Appreciate it.
But can I say something else before we go, real quick? I mean, I've been saying this to you really, but I mentioned about it last night about on another podcast or whatever it is. But I was saying, think about it for a second. I mean, I hear people talking about Kohli. If Kohli come, so be it, no problem. We just go behind which coach come. We're gonna support because we want our team to win. We just hopefully they can get the best out of our team. But I've been saying the 2 best continents where ball game plays, South America and Europe. If you want the best coaches, they're going to be coming from both of those places. If you're looking for the style of players that you want, you look for those areas. The most in CONMEBOL right now, the most coaches are from Argentina. In Europe, some of the best top coaches are Spaniards. So if you think about it, it would be a non-argument to say if we want to possess the ball more, control the ball more, and be more effective offensively, to look in those areas.
So I'm gonna play devil's advocate caller. Here's my last point to you before you go.
Yeah.
One could say Jesse Marsh is not from South America or
Canada.
Europe, but he's American, who's coaching Canada, who's in the second round, and he's in the quarterfinals of Copa America. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, it's great. It's good. But Jesse Marsh went to Europe, and he coached in Europe. So
right.
He learned.
Okay.
So the thing is, Jesse Marsh is not necessarily taking some non-experience or the MLS experience alone or anything like that. He has proven himself in Europe for a while. So he has grasped a lot of that element. If we have a coach that is doing so in those areas, I would say that, yeah, we can look at him. Hence why I think Paul Hall was having the team looking good in terms of playing more, keeping the ball more, making more possession more. I think that's why a lot of people like Paul Hall play. But that's what I'm saying. If anything, look in Europe. Nothing wrong with looking back in Europe. Is the places we need to look for in terms of saying what kind of style we want to go for, or how we want our team to look, or if this coach can be effective for our team. That's why I may mention, say, well, between Argentina, Spain, or like I say, I'm not wrong going with England, for example, because we know, say, yo.
No bad now, England coach. They're not good. Not England coach.
England was never my first choice, too.
Sports DTM dropped a video this morning. I hope you listen to it. And so the coach that I think, and it was just my opinion. On Kranky show yesterday, Kranky had Mr. Speed, and I was listening to him, and he something slipped out of his mouth. You understand?
What slipped? Because I must have missed it. What slipped?
You missed it. I can't believe that you didn't pick up. You know why you didn't pick up on it? Tell me why you never pick up on it. Let me tell you why, Kranky.
You're probably too busy. I try to figure out the next question.
Yeah, you try to figure out right. So Mr. Speed said he might get into this is his word, I'm quote. I might get in a little trouble. Because Kranky asked him, what do you think about next coach coming? Say, I might think I get in a little trouble. I'm giving away a lot of stuff. He said, I like how the Argentinians played. They possess the ball
See?
and whatever, and they know, and then Kranky, he will be looking for somebody who know the region. So Sports Detail
Right.
dropped a video this morning that the best Argentinian that who know the region, you understand, played in the CONCACAF, coach Mexico, win the MLS, win the Gold Cup, was that guy named Mourinho.
See there. And that is why I said that those regions still not he got, because
so I don't know if it's that one them have in mind.
Yeah, well, hope so. And my thing is, like, at the end of the day, it's nothing wrong if we even have another option. But I'm just saying,
just go and check it out.
Judging
People,
by
check
where
out that video on Sports DTM. Go and check out that video on Sports DTM.
mega check it out too. Check it out too. But yo, gentlemen, big up on yourself.
Thanks for the call.
Respect, you know?
Thanks for the call. Appreciate it. So
Yeah.
I'll say this. We keep, I thought we were past this, we keep going back about biased
Right, Jason,
players. People.
Cranky. Yeah, Jason, if he would leave Messi and coach, Messi don't need no coach, you know. Jason, somebody asked me the same question. Messi don't need no coach. Messi don't need no coach, brother. You think Messi need no coach? Messi coaching days done, man. Yeah, man. Messi play a 5-1, man. Right,
yeah, so this whole concept of locally born versus born outside of Jamaica, we have. I think the coach alluded to that in a sense, which is we have a now cohesive, collective bunch of players. So the fans need to move on. The players have moved on, fans. You need to move on with that nonsense. You're going to talk about players based on their individual capabilities, not about where they originate from and what they're doing or what club they play for. We're going to talk about how they perform in this region for the national team. There are players in the team who play brilliant for the club team and are poor for the national team. And when I talk about some of that, especially one of those players, you guys lose your mind and give me a hard time. But it's a fact. It's not disputable. So let's focus on the individuals. And this whole notion that we over-criticize a Jamaican in this region, nonsense. Go watch the Euros. You hear what they say about Van der Hart? And I forgot the other guy who for the Dutch team. The English were saying they cringe at it. If the English are cringing people, you're in problem. If the England are saying they're cringing about because in England they're complaining about past players like Scholes criticizing the players who are playing now, and those players are sort of either pushing back or saying it's not helping them. They were talking, and Holland, by the way, is in the last 8. And they were talking about how Van der Hart, and I forgot the other player, were brutalizing their team and their players and how they cringe. If they're cringing, they don't want you to criticism. They're probably speaking in Dutch too, so I don't understand it, so I haven't tried to hear it. But criticism permeates the entirety of the football community, no matter what country you're in. I'm sure Sesko is getting killed by his nation for missing that goal against Portugal. So let's not say we're criticizing too much. We're just criticizing because criticism is apparent. If you play brilliantly, you get the laudatory comments. And if you don't, you're gonna get criticized. Now, what I would say about criticism though is that I don't want but it's not good. We can say the level we need to get to, we need better players, or it's not the right player. But you say somebody's not good, it's very derogatory, it's very dismissive. We gotta manage that. And if I say it, you guys need to call me out, but we shouldn't do that, right? Because them wasn't good, them could not play for Coventry, them could not play for whatever team them play for. It wouldn't be the case. They're good enough players to play professional and get paid for it. They can play football. They may not be at the right level, we think, to compete or dominate in this region, no matter where they come from, frankly. So, yeah.
I just think that when they're playing for their club, they have good players because this the coaches and management and staff get players to complement each other players, and they played well within their club. But when they get to Jamaica, we don't have that choice because if we know that Cephas is fast, we need somebody to complement Cephas. So when him get the ball and break, we need somebody to break with him. We not have that. I'm just using that for example. You understand? Damian Lowe break up the play. Who is there beside it? So as they break up the play, they can play a 10-foot ball or a 5-foot ball, in front of him, so he can get the pass. Who is there? We don't have that luxury. The coach don't have that luxury. We just pick up somebody and say, hey, let's play the ball and see if it works.
So some people, let me say something. So I should be criticized for today's program because my thumbnail had Noah and Kishane. I've said,
Kranky, give me a second. Me have a cut.
We're together.
No, hold on. My daughter called me. Give me a second.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're 16 minutes from completion of the program, and I haven't mentioned nothing about Kishane and nothing about Noah Lyles. I was going to talk about a big. So what I'm going to do too, I'm a postpone that till tomorrow because it deserved more than 16 minutes, right? It deserved much more time to talk about what I think is going to be a very exciting Olympics, especially the primary event of the Olympics, which is the 100 meters. I had gotten some information here on the history, their times and all that. And I want to give it justice to talk about this. I know a lot of you are probably football fans, maybe not be track and field per se, but I do want to have sustained and substantive discussion around this. So the thumbnail maybe have been it wasn't a clickbait thumbnail. It was actually what I was going to talk about a lot. But somehow when we get into football, the conversation takes on a life of its own, and you can never get to where you should get to. Whether it's the callers calling in, panelists talking, it's amazing how that works. But so yeah, I'll take 2 more calls for the next 15 minutes and then close this down. And tomorrow we're going to talk mainly athletics tomorrow. I'm not sure what thumbnail I'm going to put out tomorrow because I just destroy. You know what? I mean, just put out the CM one today. I'll change up a little bit. It's not the right thing to do. But I do want to talk about Kishane and Noah. But I also want to talk about Oblique because I think the situation with Oblique shows Jamaicans are truly bandwagonist people. I mentioned this before I get into tomorrow, but when Oblique boss up Noah, Jamaica, and now come out an excuse, Oblique was on a pedestal, we're treating him well. And as soon as Oblique get a little bit of touch from Kishane, nobody talk about Oblique no more. At least me not see them talk about Oblique. Pure Kishane me I hear. I watch a program yesterday, pure Kishane me I hear. So at the end of the day, I think we gotta give flowers to all the performers who we think are doing really well, including people like Nugent, for example. And I want to have some of that discussion tomorrow. But again, the people you can call into the program. Let me drop the number. The number is running across the stream. You can call in. We got about 14 minutes remaining. I'm gonna close down at 8 o'clock tonight. And I want to thank you for being here. And I see the likes are going up, but I'm not stingy with it as usual. So as I said, Mr. Beg, I'm tired for beg. I want to thank people like Drew Ross. Drew Ross, by the way, Drew Ross, you tell me you're coming to the event that Unisac having now. And people, if you're in Brooklyn, you know what, if you're in the tri-state area, I'm involved with a soccer team. I used to play for them. I'm now part of the board for the team. It's called Unisac Soccer Club. It's been around since, I think, 1975. The original founders found it. One of them died a couple of years ago. He gave us some funding for the next 10 years, but we're still trying to raise more funds because we have an over 40 team and an open team, and they play in leagues in Brooklyn. We have an event on October 12th. We just finalized arrangement for the event. I think I will MC the event, and it's in Brooklyn. It's always a good event. We don't have any security because we don't need no security. Pure regular people come out. We don't need no security. We now have no security because of them kind of event that we run. But it's a really fun event. The food is good. We normally have we may have a singer, performers. It's a really good event. And if you're in Brooklyn or in the tri-state area and you want to attend, you can let me know on the show. You can text the number I have on the screen, and we can talk about it. But we're trying to get the numbers of people, so we make sure we don't overspend in terms of food and local and things of that nature. So if you're interested, let me know, and we'll get that done. I think that's all coming here. Tracer Kranky Oblique reaches peak. He can't run faster than 9.82. Well, Trey Moon, if that's the case, I don't want to get into this yet, but Noah Lyles is a much better Trey Moon. Let me just tell you that, no, Trey Moon, not much better. So that means you not say if Kishane go run, he will win easy. That you tell me. Because go look for Noah time. If you're blast Oblique for time, look for Noah time. Yeah, some people have seen it, but you could say the same thing with it. Even though the Clayton twins are younger, you could say the same thing about Tia. Tia was in the background for all this year, and Tina was the one dominating alpha. So Tia come from nothing around 10.86 and 10.9, 2, whatever the number is. So you don't know. Yes, Clayton. Of course, I play with Alan, but I don't play anymore. And Alan is younger than I am. I think Alan is playing for over 49 now. But Alan turned, as you know, Clayton him turned Rogan, left for 2 years, him come back. So I have to beat him. But no, Alan's a brilliant footballer, actually. Aren't you and Alan brothers? I think you are, actually, if I'm not mistaken. If it's the Clayton I'm talking about. Clayton, did you play for Buffalo too? Because I played for Buffalo also. If it's the right Clayton I'm talking about, I think you are. Someone says, see, people don't want to talk track and field. So tomorrow, people, we're talking enough track and field tomorrow, people. Enough track and field. And before we leave it tonight, we expect the likes to outnumber the people in the chat, because more people have been in the chat than is represented here, because people come and leave, actually. So if you like this stream, other people get to watch it. It increased my numbers, and I'm trying to do that, actually. I'm trying to get more people to subscribe. And obviously, if you haven't subscribed, you can't come in tonight. So We know most of them who comment are subscribers. Can me set it and Claudine, I give me a hard time. Say, you know what? I trick me. Say, if we put that funny thing, that means that people can't also not subscribe and not come. That's the point, Claudine. If you don't subscribe, not come. You try to get freeness and you don't want to get nothing feed. So if you don't subscribe, then not come. Me don't want to stay at talk for 2 hours. My motor I'll get dry. Never drink water, and you get my energy and I give me no energy. That's how life work. Oh, Clayton, so Clayton, you're also very good. If the right marriage I think about, I always wonder where you disappear to. You're also a very good footballer. But Clayton Morale people are very, very good footballer. Surprising up at a high level. But go on, Tiga.
Yes. Where were we?
No, we're gonna close out the program by talking about the coaching situation. Who would you like to? Because you mentioned you just refer your program and make people go over your program and talk what nothing else, just
Cranky, go and check out the video that I did, about the coach potential coach that I have, Yes.
So who do you think?
No, this is not Tiga. Yes, I'm Tiga Davis. My name is Davis. Yes, this is Tiga Davis.
No.
Tiga
Davis. No.
Tiga Davis. Not Paul Tiga Davis.
Paul Tiga Davis was a big footballer for Jamaica. This Tiga is just a supporter.
Yes.
And an observer and a fan. He's not a big footballer. So don't confuse the two.
You're right. You're not Paul Tiga Davis. No, this is not Paul Tiga Davis.
And I'm sure you're going to tell me you're from Kingston. Paul Tiga is from Montego Bay, right? You're from Kingston, right?
St. Mary.
Oh, you're not, because everyone don't say no from Kingston. No, don't say no from Kingston. When we walk by Kingston, don't say no from Kingston.
Paul is from St. Mary. He played for Seba, but he's from
okay.
St. Mary.
I know him at Seba. I thought it was from Montego Bay.
This brother, I'm telling you, he's from St. Mary. He's my cousin.
Okay.
He's my cousin.
Paul Tiga Davis is your cousin?
Yes.
This is the last call for the game, people. Isn't it the same number call a while ago? Wait, somebody can have
He's from St. Mary.
Good night.
Yeah, Kranky, I KJ, so I'm call back. When I'm bridging, I listen to the show and call me, ask me, say, why am I want to use Cooley? But I just want to explain that for just anybody. Sometimes it's good for explain the rationale.
Right.
You see, a person like Cooley, for example, I don't know his accolades and I didn't read much, but I know that he was in Qatar getting some experience under Schaefer and everything.
Right.
But he's just been an assistant coach while he was there. To me, that's not enough for me. Reason why I say that, Jamaica is in the middle of the campaign. It started. You see, if I did 2 years ago went on with no start yet, it would have been the perfect time for him to work his system, make his players then believe in his system, get everything up. We need an experienced coach that knows how to get the job done. You can't play around because you have a small window to mess up right now. If we make these teams get the better of us, we're going to be out of the competition. We cannot afford to mess up. We need somebody with experience and can manage these players and them egos. That is important. You need good coaches to get the best out of your place. It doesn't have to be a superb coach or a worker coach, but a good enough coach with qualifications and knows the game well. That's why I'm saying I think it's important for us to get an experienced coach to get us to the World Cup and compete in the World Cup.
Okay.
You see me?
That makes sense.
Yeah. Coming on, I just say that because I just get off man want to argue with me. I just say that to say, but now fight against Cole. In there, sometimes people hear them and say, why you always fight against your own? It's not about fighting against your own. No. We don't want to own for even fail. We want him to get a good, clean slate. If we fail, for example, we're going to start back over, I would say then he'll be the perfect man for the job.
So here's a question for you, Carlo.
I think the same thing. Hold on.
Go on. No, here's what I say actually, which is this, people. So what you're saying basically is that you want him to get a good opportunity, right? So he can succeed. So why would you have him on the bench beside this coach? And because the coach is only going to be hired for the World Cup qualifier, and then after the World Cup, we get rid of him and have Cody take over.
We can do that, but the JFF them probably don't want to use that amount of money and expense, so we have to be mindful. But at the end of the day, what I'm saying is just that at the end of the day, I wouldn't want to throw him into this in the middle of the campaign, because guess what? You see, if Jamaica don't play to the optimal level and we lose against all them teams and we already face a certain route, I've beaten a Kamal team,
Yes.
I dash come and say right away, dash where him not good. Okay, yes. that this is why we don't want to D-Cup coach in our team. You understand? So I'm just saying, at the end of the day, yeah, it would be good to give him, but it's not the right time. The timing just not right. I personally don't think the time is
Yeah,
right.
I think if they wanted to try a Coley, they should have do it when they hire Albrimson. Give him that
That's what I'm saying.
start, that beginning start.
Th-
Right?
That's what I'm
But
saying.
not,
That's what I'm
they
saying.
need
Tiga.
because I just read an article that Tim Howard, they want to get rid of the US coach now. They said they had enough. Tim Howard said he will fly to Europe to talk to club. This is how weird, this is how serious the football is. They want Klopp to coach the US team right about now. That is where they are now. So everybody's taking this football thing serious. Very, very serious. They're trying to get the best coach what money can buy. And Mr. Speed said on the Kranky show, I don't know if Kranky missed it, that they have money. They can buy a coach now. You understand?
Yeah, man, without a doubt. That's the US, man.
Get a good coach.
No, he was talking about Jamaica has money. Not
Yeah, Jamaica. Rudolph
no, well, Rudolph said they have money, but they don't have clap money. Clap now pay for now coach no team for $500,000.
No, son.
We can't get a clap.
Yeah.
Get a good coach out
Hey,
there.
you know what the best approach for start to clap? That's a clap. You like reggae? You see me? If him can work with that, then we can work with something.
No.
Seriously,
As I did the other day, clap. Do you like drama? Okay, you're gonna get more than you can manage.
Oh, I'm telling you.
It's a drama thing. It's not about reggae. It's drama. It's all drama. Full of drama. Yeah. All right, Carl.
But yeah, man. But big up in a sense.
Yeah, man. Appreciate the call. Appreciate the call.
Yeah,
back,
man.
actually.
Cool.
All right, people. We're almost there. It's 4 minutes left. We'll take one more half a minute call before closing the program. First of all, I appreciate you being here. It's been a fun evening. I apologize to those who came to hear the discussion on track and field. I'm going to post about the same thing tomorrow. It's a lazy thing because we're going to talk about track and field tomorrow. I'm going to track and field at least an hour tomorrow because I love track and field. And I went to the college, the best high school in Jamaica by a good distance. I'm sure people don't take that personal. But I also went to two high schools because when I mentioned I go to one school, I get beaten from the other school. So I did go to the Russian school too. So I'm going to both the college and the Russian school. So a good thing. But no, I am not going to say whether a coach should get the job or not. But I would say, I mean, he has his A license, right? Or whatever the equivalent is for A license. So he has proven himself that at least in his classroom, he knows what he's doing. The question, will he get the opportunity to coach at a certain level to allow him to be considered for the national team? Right? So I don't have a preference as a coach, but I know what attributes I'm looking for. And people, before I go, I'm going to say this. It's 3 minutes to my close on time. In Jamaica, I'm seeing the lights. The lights are still on, which means the hurricane has knocked out all the power. I still see people on the road driving. There's a lot of rain falling. The skies look ominous because I'm watching it actually. But I hope that everyone in Jamaica is safe. I hope that the hurricane passed without too much property damage because it's not only human damage. Property damage can also be extremely devastating. And if you're in Jamaica, please stay safe. Stay off the road. Buckle down. Hopefully you have hunker down, I should say. Hopefully you have bought enough food to allow you to stack up for a number of days. I think this is supposed to be a 3 or 4 day event.
Yep.
3 or 4 day event. Yeah. So
oh no,
please stay safe.
Yeah, shop are open.
Shop open. So Tiga, thanks for joining me, Tiga.
No problem. When they start the show, you need to send me a link. As they start the show, send me a link. So make me feel, do look necessity and I call you and I disrupt you. Just send me a link. So I can up on if I need to up on or whatever. You understand?
All right. No, Michael, I wasn't in Jamaica 95, 96. I was here. I was in the US. But I do keep in touch with both my alma maters actually. I'm a big fan of my two high schools actually.
Please look up Cody record.
Chris is brutal. Chris is brutal.
I tell you,
Chris is brutal.
Chris. You understand? Yeah.
Chris is brutal. But all right, Chris. We'll look it up, Chris. We're at time, Tiga. Yeah, Tiga. You gotta text me, Tiga, to send it. I'm just send me my link anyway. Text me if you send it, right?
All right, cool. No problem.
Text me, I'll send it. Good night, people. Right. Thanks for being here. I appreciate you being here.
Keep safe.
As I said before, I'll talk about likes at beginning, middle, and end. I think this is the end of the program. Please, people, be safe. If you're in Jamaica, please be safe. Don't go on the road. Allow the authorities to do their jobs because sometimes what we do is we go on the road and we we mess with the congestion. So please don't do that, people. All right? Take care, and I have to send you out with my big tunes. So good night. Kranky Live is the place to be now for the best sports talk, and it's free, yo. Kranky Live will be your guiding light by keeping you informed both day and night. Kranky Live, tell them. Kranky Live, heed them. Kranky Live, want them. Kranky Live. From the courts to the field, we'll never lose because Kranky has the hottest news. With expert analysis, we break it down. Our in-depth coverage is best in town. Kranky Live, tell them. Kranky Live, heed them. Kranky Live, want them. Kranky Live. Kranky Live, where the sports is spicy and where we keep the discussion lively. Kranky Live, get to know the name because Kranky analysis is never lame. Kranky Live, give me my Kranky Live. I want my Kranky Live. Must have my Kranky Live. Whether it's football or track and field, Kranky is at the wheel. So join the journey through victory and defeat, and subscribe and don't miss a beat of Kranky Live. Tell them, Kranky Live. Heed them, Kranky Live. Want them, Kranky Live. If you're from England or USA, from Kingston or Bombay, from Kenya or Canada, Lagos or Havana, visit Kranky Live. Tune into Kranky Live. Like up Kranky Live. Subscribe to Kranky Live. Kranky Live coming to you on weekdays. Kranky Live sometimes on Sundays. Pull up a chair and take a seat because Kranky will always bring the heat. Kranky Live. Me say fi tell them Kranky Live. Me say fi heed them Kranky Live. On them Kranky Live. Kranky Live will be around. Kranky Live is the best in town. Me say fi heed them. Me say fi want them. Me say fi heed them. Want them, heed them, want them. Kranky Live. Kranky Live. Heed them. Want them. Heed them. Want them. Kranky Live. Kranky Live. Heed them. Want them. Heed them. Want them. Heed them. Want them. Kranky Live. Kranky Live. Kranky. Heed them. Want them. Heed them. Want them. Heed. Want. Heed. Want. Heed them.